So the goal, folks, is not to save the planet. It's not to save the climate. Like the revolutionaries used to say back in the 60s, the Students for a Democratic Society, the issue is never the issue. It's not about global warming. It's not about sustainable development. It's about enslaving humanity. They want to wipe out small, medium-sized producers, centralize food control in the hands of mega corporations in bed with the mega governments. They want to move the population into the mega cities and ultimately bring about this great reset in what they call the New World Order. And I'm out of time.
Concrete proposals and ideas of how we can really create, I would say, a new world order.
A world order where everyone shall eat bugs. And it's a plan to totally transform every element of our lives. In fact, the head of the UN General Assembly at the time called it the master plan for humanity. And if you read the preface, it says over and over again, no one will be left behind.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. So today's video from the World Economic Forum to shut down small and medium producers across the world. Let me make a quick disclaimer. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, guys, nor am I a fear monger. They both irritate me. However, I am a realist, okay? Right now, they are making it so hard for people like you and I to get our clean food to our customers. They literally want to pass food safety laws, and they have in many states and many countries, that says it's safer for you to go to the store and say, buy a rabbit from there. Well, most of those rabbits come from China. And I can prove it. I've done research into it and talked to local food, small food, like specialty shops, right? Yet my rabbits have never been given anything but well water, organic feed, and some pelleted feed, organic hay. They've never had antibiotics, wormers, steroids, growth hormones, or anything for a virus, okay? So the meat is so clean, it's so healthy, yet because I can't meet USDA large farm corporation standards for a butchering area, it's almost illegal for me to advertise and sell my meat to my customers, which I find crazy because you will never have meat as clean as mine. So I want you to think about that as you watch this. Think about the laws you're seeing coming across to you in your area, even if you don't sell meat, even if you don't sell milk, even if you don't can, you just garden. Think about some of the laws you're seeing being pushed through your area and network with people, guys. That's the thing. If I grow corn, you have a meal. I don't care what country you originated from. I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what color you are or what sex you are. If you can mill it and I can grow it, we can work together. So these videos are not to make us separatist. They are to unite us, to remind you that this country was built on all of our backs and our ancestors' backs. And together, we can build a brighter future for our children and our grandchildren.
And ended up writing an article about it. It was published in May of 2016. UN let them eat bugs. Kind of the Marie Antoinette. I don't know that she really said that. A lot of people say she didn't. But the report was about how they're going to make us eat bugs. How meat and chicken and traditional agriculture were not sustainable. And the food of the future was going to have to be creepy crawlers. And they actually have a big section in the report about, those Westerners, they're pretty picky with their food. They're not really going to want to eat bugs. We're going to have a major propaganda campaign. We'll use state-funded media, and we'll use government indoctrination centers masquerading as schools to get them used to the idea of eating bugs. And so I reported all this over 10 years ago, and then along comes Joe Biden.
With regard to food shortages, yes, we did talk about food shortages, and it's going to be real.
It's going to be real, right? So, a lot of people think, I'm not going to eat bugs. That's crazy, right? And Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum in their little video, they said by 2030, you're going to have to eat a lot less meat to save the planet. So how are they going to get people to eat bugs? Well, a combination of propaganda, indoctrinating children, and making you very, very hungry.
So after him saying, basically they would use media, propaganda, especially with our children, because children are very easy to train in whatever thought process you want them to be trained in. And they would make us very, very hungry. And guys, it just kind of felt surreal. Like I was hearing kind of like what they did to Nazi Germany. We all sit around and we're like, How did all those Germans just get on board with killing millions of Jews? Like, who would do that? Nobody in their right mind would be okay with that. But it didn't just happen. It was like a 25, 30-year propaganda, starting with the children, controlling the media, controlling the food. I say it in a lot of my videos. He who controls the food controls the people. Okay? You'd be amazed what you're willing to do to make sure your children don't go hungry. That is kind of one of the reasons I feel like we began our farms. One of the reasons I feel like God really wanted us to begin our farming journey, to farm the way we do, debt-free, without buying any inputs, you know, learning to use one waste output as a creative input for another system, and, you know, just making everything as nutrient dense so that when I eat my 2 chicken eggs every morning, they literally carry me for 6 hours. I don't get hungry. I don't want any other food. I have energy, and it's coming from 2 chicken eggs fried in either bacon grease or real butter, not margarine. I mean, that should tell you something right there. Like, everything that they've ever taught us about food and everything, it's all a lie. We have to get back to gardening. And once you really get into your gardening or your homesteading journey or your market garden journey, you're going to realize that what you thought you knew, you didn't know anything.
The government knows quite a bit about eating bugs. Turns out it's very, very unhealthy. I pulled these right out of the National Library of Medicine 2017 study funded by the government. Said that the chitin in bugs, the exoskeletons, will provoke human innate immunity to generate a deluge of inflammatory cytokines which injure organs and, in persistent situations, lead to death, multiple sclerosis, systemic lupus, and cancer.
The reality is that most people in the world today will never own more than a few acres, if that much land. As the World Economic Forum and other groups push to remove people from their land, as they push to abolish land ownership, right? What you find is you just become a slave to the system. Now, I know a lot of people feel like, well, I'm already a slave to the system now, Sam. Like, you know, debt, all of that's just got me there. Guys, you can get out of that. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. I drive around with a truck that has a door that doesn't match because I had to replace the door and I couldn't buy a brand new one, so I got a used one. Well, unfortunately, the color doesn't match, so now I have to repaint either the entire vehicle or that door, but it's still hundreds of dollars. I do understand. I mean, I really do, but I want you to know that there is hope. And the way that you do it, you take back control of your food. You start there. You secure your food on whatever amount of space you have available. And you notice I did not say land. Some of you may be in apartments or living with other people. Potted plants, a pet rabbit, get you a small, like the smallest storage bin possible with worms, and begin. If you don't start, you'll never finish. But this is where people make a mistake. They look at established homesteads, farmsteads, or farms or market gardens, and they're like, well, you know, I'm not going to even bother starting. I'll never get there, or whatever excuse they have. Guys, those same people started where you are with nothing. Little knowledge, little money, little land, and they built it. That's what they don't teach us at school anymore, that you literally can start with nothing and end up with everything that you want, but you are going to have to do the work. You're going to have to get educated. You're going to have to push, guys, because if you don't sow it, you cannot reap it. To be honest, there is not another principle in the entire world that is more spot on and truthful than what I just said. Sowing and reaping. And when you farm or you homestead or you ranch, you understand that to reap it, you must sow it. If you want cattle, you must breed. See what I'm saying? Like, you must sow to reap. The way that the world is moving now, they literally want to take everyone's ability to sow away from them. Okay? Take all the livestock away from you. Take away all your personal choices. Take away all of your ability to move around in your vehicles. They literally want to take the land from you. Stop small and medium-sized farmers, because if we can't sow, we can't reap. And then we're dependent on someone else to do that process for us, which makes us essentially slaves. Even if you're just a backyard gardener, there's a reason you're growing your own food. For some of you, it's literally like going to a therapist. For others of us, it's because we're tired of being force-fed unreal food and being told that it's more healthy for us than what we can grow in our own yards. For the rest of it, it's because we truly love the land and the animals that we care for, and we want to steward them better than large corporate-owned farms. Some of these different topics. It's not to put you off. It's not to disturb you. It's literally to educate you, because knowledge is power, right? My people perish for lack of knowledge. That's literally in the Bible. And whether you're a Christian or not, there's wisdom found in the Bible. Every word of it is wise. So when you hear things like that, when God literally sits in heaven and says, my people perish for lack of knowledge, it's up to people like me that have platforms, though it may be small now, it will grow. And it's up to me to let you guys know what I'm coming across, what I'm finding, and it's up to me to share it. Because if I don't, who will? Comment and subscribe, because even though we're small, we're going to keep it real. God bless you.